So how is the Mantueffel in today's meta? Do her secondaries stack up in ranked or randoms? Here's Ripper to explain.
Hey team, this is Ripper. You guys are doing fantastic today. Got a fun video talking about Mantueffel. Yes, tier 9 new battle cruiser, if you want to call it, next to the Prince Outerbird we did a video on. But I believe that, man, this line is really designed for ranked and more of the smaller competitive battles, I've noticed, because if you haven't played it already, the line for tier 9, tier 10 on the Prince Outerbird, and of course the Mantueffel here, you know, the new German cruiser secondary focused ships, you'll notice that I see them really suffering and floundering in the random gameplay, and we'll kind of dive into it and figure out why. But it really shines very, very well in maybe smaller, more competitive matches. I've noticed, like either ranked, potentially clan battles, and we'll see in the background here. I just had amazing games with this thing. I'm just kind of trying to understand as to why. And maybe the gimmick really is, again, if you're still focusing on the secondary gameplay, then I don't really think it survives the normal meta of randoms. However, more for the smaller battles where there's less focus fire, less spamming, and so forth, I think it shines very well. But, you know, as always, before we get like, subscribe, button below, appreciate all the supporters of the channel. You see value we're doing today, smash those buttons, leave a comment. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy the show. All right, let's get right to it. Initial positioning. This is, you forget the map there. This is Tears of the Desert here. A pretty fun map. Initial positioning, if you're on the west side, go for Bravo. Obviously, get that cap out of the way. And then, of course, the contesting is happening at Alpha. Now, right off the bat, look at this. The reason why I think it shines is right in this, right at this situation right here, where you don't have many people firing at you. You're not getting focused down, and you're really just, you know, focusing on the secondaries, which is the bread and butter of the ship. And I think that's why ranked and competitive is better, because it then allows you to maybe exploit the powers and strengths of your ship. But in randoms, you can't seem necessary to do that with subs, carriers, so much spotting, so much, you know, HE spamming, so many destroyers that can really melt you down nowadays, cruisers like Hawaii and Bremen that just don't allow you to push in. Because in order to use the secondaries, most of the time you have to push in to get within range. And as you can tell, like especially with the games that I've been playing in destroyers, like these gunboat DDs that can reach out and touch you at 14, 15 kilometers, it really is not a really fair fight for the secondary kind of cruisers. Maybe even, I would even argue, some battleships, because you just can't get into secondary range to actually, you know, use your strength. And just for this example right here, look at Valparaiso, which most people say, though, if this thing's broken, OP, overpowered, whatever. But here's how you counter it. You basically either get outside of its secondary range and don't let it use its secondary, so it can't use the gimmicks. Like right now, you see his lights are on. That means he's using his power up right there. But if you just keep focusing on him and wither him down, he pretty much just cannot survive. And you can see right now that he's got to basically disengage because he knows he's about to die. He's just not able to get enough secondary hits to activate his power-ups and so forth. That's kind of how you counter the Valparaiso. So I don't really think it's necessarily broken. It's just annoying. And then, of course, you're in this situation right here where if you just stay outside of its secondary range, you can use your secondaries in the Mantueffel, which, of course, its bread and butter is the manual secondaries, which we'll talk about in a minute. But right here, smoke screen up, and this is kind of that engaging usage of rank battles, which is pretty, I guess you could say, fun in this aspect, because it's not, you're not being overwhelmed. You know, in randoms, you're being overwhelmed by everything. Here, at least you can take a breath, a breather, and figure out, hey, let me make a decision and try to, you know, use tactical maneuvering and positioning to actually use my ship the way it was intended. And I think that's why ranked battles right now shines, clan battles, and so forth. All right, so we're growing again. Now, the cool thing is we have a GQ Johnny who's smart enough, actually understands the game, and actually lays a smoke screen out so nobody can spot us. Now, again, like the secondary battleships for the German side, in most battleships that have secondaries focused, like Libertad and so forth, if you ever have a smoke, you can literally just sit into the smoke and use your secondaries without being spotted. That is a gimmick right there, very nice. The manual secondaries, you increase, I believe, the range and maybe a little bit of accuracy and so forth here and there. Outside of that, I don't really notice too much of a difference. It just, you can now aim specifically with the secondaries with your ship when you're in this mode right here. Of course, you're not firing from both sides. You're just using one side of the secondaries. I kind of like using a mixture of both, where I'll switch back and forth between main guns and secondaries and play it like that. Again, right here, here's how you counter the Valparaiso. Again, do not let him get within secondary range and get the, you know, the jump on you and start building up those power-ups. But you'll see it right here. When you get him down to about 1,000, all you got to do is unleash hell on him, and boom, he's gone. And that's kind of how you take out the Valparaiso. We'll show another video of us doing that in the Mantueffel. Again, the cool thing about this is the secondaries of, I believe, the Valparaiso is 12 and 12 and a half, something like that. So, but look at this. The cool thing about manual secondaries over here is you can see at the bottom, it goes out to 13 kilometers. So if you can start firing and setting him on fire at 13 kilometers before he can even get into range and get his accuracy up, you pretty much kind of eliminated the Valparaiso's kind of gimmick, if you will, right there alone. So that's how you would counter it. I've noticed it's worked really, really well in a lot of matches I've seen, especially ranked. Everybody's picking Valparaisos nowadays, so you gotta figure out ways to counter it, adapt and overcome, as I always say in the military. So we just try to find a way to overcome it. Now, I didn't say it's impossible, nor is it enjoyable, or I'm sorry, no, I have to say that again. It's not. It's everything's possible. It's just maybe annoying and difficult. Not going to say it's an easy day to kill a Valparaiso, but like I said, we're talking about trying to figure out different strategies. That's why I like it. There's always a fun challenge in the aspect of that. And maybe I'm forgetting that this is a game, and your job in the game is to find ways around to solution seek and figure out how to overcome the day. Right. All right. Moving manual secondaries on the FDG are here. The old school battleship from back in the day from the German side, and it's also focused on secondaries. Its guns are okay, and he fires a lot of guns at us. Now, we are still a cruiser. We are not a battleship in any aspect of that, so we do melt pretty well. So you got to also keep in mind the weaknesses of Mantueffel. You got a Citadel, of course. You got small caliber guns. You only got 6 of them, man. Ooh, look at that. Nice. We finally get nice secondaries on him right there. The secondaries on this thing are ridiculous. I did put the commander on here and Lucian's, and when you get the secondary going, especially if you get the buff, you just got to get, I believe, 100 something secondaries, whatever it is, I forget. But basically, once you hit his power up, he gets an increased reload and a better, I don't know if it's better dispersion or accuracy. I just know the reload's better, and that's really the gimmick of the German battleship and its commander. And I think that really shines well in the Mantueffel series, Schlieffen series as well. So really, German battleships do very well, exceedingly well with Lucians on it. So you gotta definitely, I always want to equip it in this regard, because you want that extra buff and power up, right? And of course, we're just gonna bum rush the good old USS Black here, and he can't do anything. Man, look at what these secondaries can do. They just melt. I'm telling you, the Mantueffel shines, especially when you're trying to go in and just simply go one-on-one with a destroyer, take on caps. You're not perma-spotted the whole time. So again, you can excel and you really take advantage of the strengths of the ship much better than in randoms. And I really do. I think it's designed for this kind of mode and enjoyability. I'm not saying it's not impossible to play with in randoms, but I just don't see Mantueffel's really surviving too much. I've been melting him like crazy in randoms, but here, you're having fun with him. All right, you take down the USS Black right there, and we pretty much win the game right there for us. Let's see if we can take on this. Look, we even get a buff, and we spot up to 3 people here. We get this heal on the German side. Pretty amazing. So nice having an extra heal at the very end there. And just look at that Chikuma. Man, I don't think he can survive. It's just basic cruiser to cruiser. I don't think he can survive. Look at all our secondaries, just massacring him right now. Now, the AP on this thing is pretty dang powerful as well. I mean, I'm not going to gawk at it. It actually is pretty strong if you get it. I've actually Citadel'd some battleships with this thing. So, 350 millimeter guns, not the craziest caliber, but they do Citadel sometimes. So, you just got to find that sweet spot and be in that right position. But they only got 6 of them, so you got to be very, very careful. Again, this ship is focused on the secondaries, which is really its bread and butter. And I think it shines again in this mode way, way better than in randoms. Look at that shot right there, and he's out of commission. Another secondary kill right there, and we win the game. And I've been just having fun. Let's take a look at another game with Mantueffel and ranked. I'm telling you, it really does maneuver and perform a lot easier and better. Look at these stats. I'm telling you, it's just so much fun in ranked. I'm telling you, number one. All right, let's take a look at another video, and I'll show you why this is a very strong ship for ranked season. All right, another map. Everybody's probably seen this map before. This is the map north. We're starting in the south here. North, they're playing again. Well, a lot of Jaegers these days, but they're the double Valparaiso. Now, this is again. How are you going to counter the Valparaisos? You just got to literally focus fire one slowly at a time. Stay as best you can outside of secondary range, and just try to melt it as fast as you can. That's pretty much the name of the game. All right, starting in the south here, we're going to just go to Bravo, and with a Jaeger spotting for us, we're just going to really go out the flanks. If you can really beat the flanks, and this, I always like going to the outer flank. It just gives me better shots, better positioning, have avenues of escape, better, I guess you could say, options in this regard. And look at 2 double Valparaisos over here, but it's okay. We got a Valparaiso Los Andes on our side right here. We're not going to engage too. Oh, actually, we can shoot at these ranges. Look at that, 14 kilometers. And watch this. Look at this shot right here. Look at that. I Citadel of Valparaiso at this range. So I'm telling you, these guns are freaking powerful when RNG does bless you at those times. But look at that. The Valparaiso down to 925 right there. And that's it. I mean, if we had just gotten an extra hit shot right there, we would have nailed him and taken him out. And again, we're outside of his secondary range, and therefore they cannot use their gimmick of, all these extra buffs and heals and quick reloads and of the heals and damage cons. And that's really much how you can counter it. And it's not that hard. You just got to figure out how to work around the issues. Like there, Alsace takes out a Valparaiso. He's down. So now we can push that Valparaiso even harder now. And look at these guns. I'm telling you, these guns are freaking pretty dang powerful for what they are. 350 millimeters. I think that's like Alaska caliber gun, right? Somewhere around that battle cruiser calibers, something like that. Look at that, another hit right there. Not as great a hit as we want, but look at here come the secondaries right here. And he's focused on somebody else. He's using his gimmick right now. Right? You can see the lights on his ship shining, so he's using his power up. He's healing, as you can see, but just keep on the fire. The heal can only last so long, right? So as long as you get sustained, concentrated fire on him, you can really win the day. Ooh, now we have a nice Kitakaze here. This is going to be a sweet shot. And the secondaries, once you get the accuracy built up on the Mantueffel, man, do they just melt destroyers and cruisers. It's pretty amazing right here. And I never realized it until you're on the receiving end. The Mantueffel, man, so freaking powerful. The reload rate and the rapid fire capabilities of the guns. They even pen 32 mil, so you don't really have to build for IFHE. So you're really just taking out everything. And just look at this right here. And we take out Kitakaze with the Valparaiso secondaries. And again, that's why ranked is so much fun. And it's just you're just not being focused down so heavily. You actually have, time to fight and actually move in position. So that's what rank is a little fun. And you get a little steal if you get a couple wins and a couple victories here. Now, the thing is you got to get to Silver League to play at the Tier 9 level. So try that. I know we always start at leave at the Bronze level. You start at around Tier 8. But it's not hard. Just grind it up, do your best, and you get to Tier 9, and it's a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun. I'm actually enjoying it. It's just kind of just simple gameplay right here. All right, Valparaiso goes down. See, nothing too cosmic there. And of course, we had a Valparaiso to help us out, and we take out both Valparaisos right there. And now we're going against the Soviet Soyuz. Let's see if we can get the manual secondaries focused on him. And a lot of it on the superstructure. Now, the cool thing I learned, too, from, I believe, watching other guys on YouTube, like Flamu and everything, and Trendlast, when you use the manual secondaries and you pin 32 mil bows, you just really got to aim at the bow, and it just melts the crap out of the ship. You don't really have to aim and try to hit the superstructure. If you can get close enough, the cool thing about the manuals is you can actually just focus on the bow, which is normally the weakest side of most ships. So that's kind of how I've been playing it, and it's been working out really well, especially these close-in brawls. I try to keep a distance, initially, and then once I see that we can, have the advantage or focus down somebody like this situation right here, then I start pushing a little bit more. All right, looks like the enemy team is starting to slowly coming back from Bravo. They went around the entire map there, and we take out the Soyuz right now. All right, let's take out the Blucher? I don't know how to pronounce that. All right, here we go. Alaska. We were just talking about Alaska right there. He's got the kind of similar caliber guns. And let's see. Oh, let's see. We sit at Alaska. Look at the gun. See, nothing to gawk at, I'm telling you. And then we got the secondary reload time reduced up to about, I believe, 100 secondary hits, right? Yeah, I guess it's 100 secondary hits. We take out Alaska right there with secondaries. Now we're focused on Jaeger. And after we kill the Jaeger here, oh, double strike? Yes, double strike. My God, I'm telling you, this thing melts everybody. What were the caliber of the Alaska guns again? Let me see. Main battery, 305 millimeter guns. My bad. So it's actually a smaller caliber in Alaska. We actually have bigger guns. No wonder I'm able to, Citadel all these battleships. 350 millimeter guns, amazing right there. So yeah, you can Citadel ships, battleships, and battle cruisers with these guns. Are pretty large and humongous. As opposed to the Alaska, it's only 305. Man, I thought that I could have sworn. I guess I got the numbers backwards, but 305s on Alaska. Well, we have 350. Look at that double strike. We get Confederate amount of. This is the kind of games you get in Mantueffel here, and ranked, and it's just an amazing ship for this, and I definitely recommend it for that reason. So let's take a look at another one. All right, next game right here. We're in Land of Fire. This one's a fun one. I normally in ranked and clan battles like to push down to Alpha Bravo and do an Alpha Bravo push, especially if you get a Valparaiso and a couple secondary ships with you. You can really push the objective pretty dang hard on Alpha Bravo. Reason why I don't like going to Charlie is I'm not very good at contesting, and I just hate the fact that we have to split the force that way. And then when you do that, look how far away Charlie is. This is way the heck over here, and it takes forever to come back around to Bravo. So that's why I like doing the Alpha Bravo pushes. They're pretty dang fun. See, there's the team. They're going to split up with Valparaiso, Georgia, Neptune, and Jutland. We got Los Andes and Fletcher. Now watch this engagement right here. This is actually, I remember this match was pretty dang fun because we had to figure out how do we counter this Valparaiso, especially this heavy push that I think the enemy team's doing right here. They've got Valparaiso, Riga, Alsace, and maybe a destroyer out here. And they're going to push pretty heavily over here. So we're going to see what we can do to maybe mitigate the push, maybe slow them down, let our team at Charlie kind of regroup and reassess, and hopefully they can make it back over and cut across. So again, it is a gamble. I think this team is trying to do this Bravo Alpha push. Yep, they have majority of their fleet over here. And you can see sometimes if you stall, you can really, probably put yourself in a bad position because now you're getting flanked from the Charlie side. Once the team realizes, hey, they're all heavy pushing Bravo Alpha, then the team can flank you easily there. So again, it just depends on what your team and how you're communicating and figuring out. Right off the bat right here, Valparaiso, we're going to focus him heavily right now and see if we can get him, at least catch him on fire, wither down some of his health pool, use our guns, anything we can. Look, he's already popping his heals. Look at that hit right there with the main guns, 12,000 damage right there. And now the cool thing is Fletcher laid down a nice smoke screen, and that's very good situation awareness as a destroyer player to know what your strengths are and kind of lay down maybe a smoke screen for your team. I need to start working on that more. Sometimes I forget that I'm the smoke layer and I have to actually smoke down for my buddies so they can actually use their bigger guns than me as a destroyer to wither down the enemy pushes and like we're seeing right here. Our Los Andes is now taking a blunt of the firepower, but that means we're going to have to take advantage of the situation right now. We're not spotted. We can use the manual secondaries right here. I might as well use the manual secondaries because I can reach out to 13 in case I need to, switch targets or at least shoot somebody from a distance, keeping myself at a standoff range from Valparaiso so he can't charge up by hitting me. Because you have to realize if I do get hit by him, he can charge up his things as well. So anything I can do to mitigate him using his secondaries and building up that charge helps out my team a lot as well. And I'm maximizing the use of this smoke screen here. Secondary battle reload time reduced now that we've got over 100 secondary hits. And I'm just literally just focusing down this Valparaiso. Notice look how concentrated. Look at the reload rate on the secondaries now. A lot of secondaries hitting his main superstructure. Hopefully it hits a lot of his other parts of his body right there that are 32 mil and below. As we pin that, as we talked about before. And I'm just doing everything I can. Now he goes undetected. I believe he's inside the smoke of his teammate right there. So we're going to keep firing. We're going to keep launching as much as we can. The cool thing about the manual secondary is you can keep shooting in the blind, and that's a very awesome thing. Most other secondary ships that don't have that, you can't do that. Now, unfortunately, we have no spotting here. We're going to rely on Fletcher. Oh, nice. Looks like the Soviet. Oh, we burned down the Valparaiso. Nice. So we get him out. That is a huge thing. If we can take out a Valparaiso, now it's open water gunboat season for us right here. Now we're just going to just use our secondaries as we're kiting away, by the way, and we can actually use the majority. The cool thing about the Mantueffel is the majority of the secondaries are still firing, even though we're giving like full 180 degrees aft to our target as opposed to broadsides. And that's really crucial right there because you're mitigating the profile of your ship, and it's really difficult to hit unless they just plow shells right into your superstructure. So that's pretty good there. And now we're just running away, kiting away, and we still have range. In the manual secondaries, notice again, we can reach out to 13 kilometers, which is crazy to have secondaries reach out to that range. I mean, you have other ships, I believe you have some. I think Libertar with the funny button can reach out to 14. So you're starting to get out to these 13, 14 kilometer ranges. It's pretty wild and very safe. It's very safe and a nice distance for us. You notice that we can juke shells at these distances. Not bad. But yet we're still reaching out and touching somebody. Now, here's the downside here is only one side. If I'm in manual secondary mode, I can only shoot secondaries on one side. So I got to make a decision. Do I want to shoot from both sides? I got to disengage the manuals and use the main guns and let them fire automatically. Notice that we're in range still with the automatic secondaries here, then 12, so not bad. I'll let the secondaries work them on the destroyer because the computer probably has better aiming than me. I find that it's easier to use the automatic secondaries on the destroyer, so that's not bad. Now, if I want to reach out, I switch over to manual and reach out to touch this Soviet Soyuz again. So, man, it's pretty interesting the fact that you have these options available to you on the Mantueffel, so that's why it is kind of fun. You notice Charlie team is now pushing into Bravo now, so again, this is what happens when you stall your push and you just get flanked, and that's the downside. If you do an Alpha Bravo push, you got to either one, coordinate with your team to defend and halt and reposition, or you're just going to have to push right through and not expose broadsides. And that's the other downside. Notice I play the Mantueffel almost like a destroyer sometimes. I feel like, man, I can actually do pushes, go out and spot, cap, and so forth. So I do like rank for that reason, because now I can treat my ship like it's a destroyer and kind of go do destroyer things myself. So that's pretty fun. All right, Johan de Witt here. Well within our secondary range, and he's probably going to melt. We pretty much, I think we pinned majority of his hull. High caliber already right there. Main gun firing. Yeah, he's pretty much, their team is pretty much floundering at this point. They can't really do much. Doriga's running away. Ketikaze's in flailing mode, and Johan de Witt is being focused down by himself against a Valparaiso and me. So not very, very fun and engaging for him at this point. But hey, we'll take the win. He's in his smoke now. We just need a little bit of spotting here. We fire the main guns. He's only down to 7,000 health. Yeah, he is not going to be able to survive this. He's not having a good day. Look at this. We have this short Ketikaze spotted within our... What is our range on the Hydro? Oh, yeah, it is 6 kilometers. So he got caught in our spider web of Hydro here. Not a good day for him as well. Look at that. Secondaries firing. Both we get the Ketikaze kill as well. And if we can get a kill on the Johan de Witt, they'll give us a double strike. Come on, baby. Give me a double strike right here. Almost there. Come on, double strike. Almost within time. I think it's in 20 seconds, I think, right? Yeah, we didn't get it. Oh, well. Okay, it's all right. We got 3 kills. Under 32,000 damage, and Riga is way out in the distance there. And look, I can just be a destroyer and cap this spot for us. And we win that game again. So if you see the common theme of how we're playing Mantueffel here, you're getting about these 130,000 games, 3 kills. You're pretty much just doing the basics of a... I guess you could call it a cruiser with secondaries and a little bit of destroyer kind of gameplay. So pretty dang fun. Last game, we'll take a look at it one more time with Mantueffel. All right, last game here in the Tears of the Desert again. And notice again our starting position being on the western side here. And again, the very simplistic idea of it is just go to Bravo and contest Alpha. If you want to push to Charlie, it takes forever and it's too long in that regard. But what do I think again of Mantueffel and maybe the German cruiser secondary line? I think it's fun in the cooperative ranked and maybe competitive game modes. Outside of that, the randoms is very difficult. It requires a little bit of patience and a really heavy reliance on your teammates, because you just got to figure out how you're able to push in without getting focused down. That's really the name of the game. And when you're doing that, you're not really playing the objectives too much. You're just trying to get damage and farming. And I feel like that's kind of like the gimmick and what they're trying to focus on. It's very difficult without any kind of radar or AA or anything that it really can provide, or even torpedoes in the sense. It's very difficult, and you just get burned down, especially with Hawaii's and Bremens out there, and even the HE spamming. It's very difficult to push in these days. To try to get your guns to work and to be effective, and you only got 6 of these 350mm guns. I mean, if you had more, at least give me one more turret, and become more of a battle cruiser in that sense. Give me a little bit extra firepower, and that way I can use the main guns a little bit better. But in this role, it shines a little bit, in my personal opinion, better than most other cruisers, because it can do things like this, where it can push in, it can, cap contest, can actually play the objectives, as opposed to getting melted down and spotted forever for eternity. Let's see here. So right now, Alpha flank is floundering. They got pushed like crazy. Looks like we lost our Riga and our USS Black. Here, we're just going to take the advantage and take on Charlie and see if we can melt down the crap out of the Blucher right here. The cool thing about the Hydro, spot the torpedoes early on so we can mitigate the damage there. And just look at that. We're just mowing down the Blucher, and you just can't do anything about it. Look at it. Just pen all over. Another close quarter expert. Look at the maneuverability on this ship. So you can just dodge those torpedoes. If you see them coming, you can really just make the decision to maneuver and reposition. We also have the Sejong, which is kind of like the Jinan, deep water torpedoes and a lot of guns. So we got to be careful here. Now, we do melt them the crap out of them. We just need a little spotting. We're going to round this corner. I'm not going to push the Sejong here because, of course, he has the advantage. He can outspot me, and, of course, he can, or if somebody's spotting me, probably Z46 is spotting us, so he's pretty much got free reign of launching torpedoes at us. Meanwhile, we're going to fire our main caliber guns and try to see if we can cut off this Los Andes and his other buddy here in the middle. Now, we do not want to take a Los Andes on, like, full on, because a lot of his armor, just like the Libertad, will deflect a lot of our secondary shells because it doesn't pen 32 mil. I mean, 32 mil doesn't pen the 50 mil armor plating sometimes, right? So that's what I kind of learned about in YouTube videos with Gang and Trendlats and them. It's just really difficult to take on these Pan-American or Pan-American secondary battleships. Very, very difficult. They're just the armor is just so thick and strong, so you got to figure out other ways to kill them. All right, looks like Los Andes around this corner. We are not going to pick a one-on-5 with them. We're going to use our torpedoes, do the best we can. You got the cool damage con here. You got the quick reloads, 38-second cooldowns, and you just only get 5 of them, I believe, 4 or 5 of them. So you got to use them at the right moments. And especially in rank, you can just use them all because you're not really there for the long haul. These games really don't last that long. So I just damage con almost everything right away just to preserve as much health as I can because I need it for these heavy pushes, right? And I like rank for that reason because it's all about these kind of moments where you just got to time it right and push right into it, and Mantueffel does an exceptionally good job of it. Look at that, Los Andes being a hit from our torpedoes right there. Second kill of the day, 66,000 damage right there, and now we're just going to bum rush Blue Shirt again. I just don't think the Blue Shirt can really just take on these secondaries. It's just amazing. Yeah, it's not really a fair fight. Sejong out in the distance there, so we're not too worried about that. Main battery reload time, finally we get those 100 hits right there. And let's see if we can, yeah, we're just going to mow them down. Let the automatic guns do their thing. I don't even have to manual secondary this one. We're definitely well within range. I'll let the aura take the damage for me. Look at that nice hit right there. A lot of overpins. Interesting. Looks like the Bravo cap is being taken by Los Andes, and Cesar let them deal with it. And again, I can just go over and cap Alpha, and that's why I can play like that, because their destroyer is way out in the distance. Dang, we lose 2. 3 ships lost right there, and I'm the last guy alive. But it's okay. We're having fun here. I'm just blasting everybody to Kingdom Come. All right, we take out Splash 3 right there. Blucher, he goes down, and I don't even know why I saved this game. I think it was just fun, just showing off how we can kill everybody. Sejong right here. We'll see if we can take him out one-on-one. Of course, this is like an easy one right here. This is not like crazy critical. I'm just going to blast him out of the water. Let's see if I can get a nice shot right here. Oh, yeah, he's showing nice broadside. If I can just get a nice sweet spot shot. He's kind of turning away, so I'm aiming a little high. Waiting for my guns to come off reload here. There's 4 more seconds, and I'll just nail him right in the hull right there. Hopefully I get it. Here it is, 1 second. Come on, baby, shoot. I love how I can just switch over to main guns and fire, and... Oh, man, I thought that I hit him. Did I miss? Did I completely wonk that shot? And here's the beautiful thing. I can keep firing those secondaries. There it is. Just keep firing secondaries. Here's his torpedoes. I had to dodge the crap out of that one. See, the cool thing, again, manual secondaries, nobody's spotting for him. He doesn't know where I'm at, but I can always keep firing at him if he keeps firing. Well, actually, I'm still spotted, by the way. I think his destroyer is still spotting me. I'm just spraying and praying at this point. Oh, where is he? Okay, he's going to come around this cloud right here. So I had the thing is I got to get around this smoke cloud. Hopefully I get... Oh, we got a fire on him. See, look, I told you. Just constant manual secondaries and just fire it. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, he's going to burn it. That was a perma fire. It'll stick. That's why I say this game. I was just showing off like we just got to take off the whole team if we have to right there, right? 4 kills right there, and they pretty much win this game. Ooh. Dang, I survived that one. That was pretty fun. If only I could kill the destroyer, that would have been fun to get a Kraken. And that's pretty much the game. But anyways, that's Mantueffel for you guys. I really recommend the ship. This pretty is amazing for the competitive and ranked, even cooperative. So if you enjoy the secondaries, try it out. But, ooh, we get a heal. Look at that. Ah, well. Hey, we tried our best. It was fun. Hopefully we get a kill at the very end. Did we? No, not enough kill. But anyways, that's Mantueffel for you guys. Check it out. If you see me out there, make sure you say hello. Build at the end of the video. Checking out this thing. But man, Mantueffel, the lime, it's fun for the small, but unfortunately, I don't believe it's fun. Not today in today's meta. Maybe they'll change something or buff it maybe in the future for randoms. But yeah, it's just not able to survive too much. But they're 3 close quarter experts right there. And how did we do? Yeah, #1 in the team. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. I'll see you next time. If you, again, see me out there, make sure you say hello. Take care. Cheers.